Place, it's the Ottawa Charge. I know, right? So, Ottawa's played the most games in the league so far. They played 16 games. Across those games, they've got 22 points on the board after a record of 4-5-0-7. I know. I'll let you come to it. Point percentage of 0.458. Scored 40 goals, so I'm currently 40 quid down in donation. Conceded 41. Plug! Go! Let's just get the elephant addressed, shall we? Ottawa has improved in overtime and shootouts. They've improved in overtime and shootouts. Yeah. In the first 2 seasons, if you go against Ottawa, you take that game beyond regulation, you're pretty much guaranteed the win. They've struggled in overtime, and that's the big argument that obviously cost them the World Cup. They could not find... Yes, they got game 1, but after that, we then took over and the Kryptonite got them. But they've improved. They've not lost in overtime or a shootout yet this season. That's crazy. I mean... And every number 16 has got a Kryptonite. And yet Ottawa have found ways to get around that! Oh my god, I'm speechless. You look like you're about to keel over, boy. You look like you're about to keel over. But it's incredible. And you need to find ways to improve. Especially how you didn't really give Ottawa enough credit. No, but I can understand why. Do you want to explain? Yeah. I mean, you two had a lot of confidence going into the season with Ottawa that they could maybe potentially be that team in the PHL who misses the out of the prize 1 year, but then goes and gets the point, like we've seen done in the NHL plenty of times. I wasn't confident because of what they'd lost, not in the expansion process, but more in the free agency. Because Ottawa's big hits in the expansion process was Mashmeyer and Bell. Yes. Who, by the way, Aspel, we didn't mention it with Banker, is now did get named as the Golden Eyes captain. Free agency, that was where Ottawa got hit more. And that got maybe thought, oh my god, you've lost a lot of firepower here. How are you going to go improve that? And it was a very slow start. It was a very slow start for the Charge. You know, you did wonder... You can't really call it cup fatigue in a 30-game season, but you did wonder, was Pluto going to get proven right, and Ottawa is going to really struggle, to try and make a case, especially how you got Vancouver who want to have something to prove. But since the Chicago game, that has kind of been a turning corner, because that game started the 6 game, was it? Or 7? 6. That started the 6-game win streak. So since Chicago, it's been like a turning... The switch has flipped. A flicker of light has built up. And away they go. Obviously, having done Montreal is obviously trying to stimulate that spark. But are you doing electricity puns? Well, can you blame me? Nah. But yeah. So... It's interesting, because actually, Ottawa's only 2 points out. Yeah! I think Ottawa's done really well, because, you know, they could have entered this Olympic break literally drifting. And you'd be thinking, oh my god, what has happened here? You were World Cup finalists this time last year. But actually, they're kind of in the position that we were in entering Prague. Because going into Prague, we were on the outside, but only by 1 point. And then, as soon as Prague was finished, we got back into the regular season. We found a way to get in and have a chance to defend our crown. Which for us was the goal. So, actually, for Ottawa, and they finished strong in their last game before Milan last night against them. Oh, yes, very. Maybe they're not out of it, and that's why I think, like, you're right when you say the playoff picture right now is between the top 5 teams. So Ottawa, New York, Montreal, Oz, and Boston. Yeah, it's between those 5. Right now, it feels like one of those 5 is going to miss out. And miss out by the narrowest margin. So actually, are you changing your tune? I'm starting to have a rethink. Okay. Because Ottawa, they've done very well against us so far. Yeah, they've won 2 of the 3 meetings so far. So the last one is going to be interesting, which of course we will be there. We will be there. Yeah. I'm having a rethink about my position on Ottawa. I think they could maybe get playoffs, but it will depend on how well do New York and Montreal perform. Okay. Yeah. And I think the 2 key reasons to why Ottawa is still in a good position is because obviously Brianne Jenner and Roy Gilday. But I'll let you do Gilday. Okay, you do Gilday. She has literally just been on fire. Yeah, she's proven why she's their captain. And she can't stop scoring. And they keep referencing the stat. I know, it's like every time it's like, don't say it. Don't say it. They even try to get Julia to keep saying it. It's like, no, she's not going to say it. She's been banned once. She doesn't want to get banned again. Yeah, it was during the game. It was during our first game of 2026, because our first game of 2026 was in Ottawa. Julia was doing the ringside stuff, and the commentators in the booth kept trying to get to Will to stop her. She was like, I'm not doing it. And no, rightly so, because she knows she's only been banned once. She's going to get banned again. Right, so yeah, and we're not allowed to say it if it happens at our game. Nope, because we'll then get banned from Grand Casino, which we don't want to do. It's bad enough one PHL podcast has got themselves banned from a PHL Prime. We don't need a second one to do it. But she's brilliant, and I think she's going to be someone to watch for Team Canada in the Olympics. So, and she's just proven why she's always captain. They did very good work in protecting her, and you know, could she build a case for an award? Feels like it, but which one? Well, that's the question. So, yeah, but she's done really well so far. And then obviously you, George. Yeah. So I was very impressed with Ottawa selecting Roy Gilday in the draft. I felt that was a really good first round pick for Ottawa, because obviously given the expansion draft, Ottawa kind of needed to make I felt was a team that needed to make the most of her having that draft on home turf, and I was really impressed with that first round pick they made. And I felt like this was a player that could potentially, you know, cause ripples in the league. And she's done very, very well. I still think she could be a contender for Rookie of the Year. I know Fleet Pass will say it's gonna be between Haley Wynn and Abby Newitt, but I'm like, hold my soda, Boston. Hold my soda. Hold my diet soda, because no. I do think Gilday has got a chance to get herself nominated, and if she gets nominated, I think you have to seriously consider her for that award, because she is doing very good work so far at Ottawa, and I'm really impressed with what I've seen from her so far. And you know, that was a great first round pick, yeah, because. And so Ottawa did well there, and I've been really impressed with how she's played so far. So I'm really forward to see what she's going to do with TUSA and see how well she does on that. Yeah. But there's also one other teammate we've not mentioned, and that course is Square Phillips. Yep. Now, honestly, last season everyone thought she was going to be the netminer that was going to get shot in the expansion draft. Yes, it was very obvious last season with Ottawa, you're going to lose a netminer. And everyone thought it was going to be Greg Phillips. And then obviously, what happened. It ended up being Matt Meyer. But at the end of the day, it's kind of worked out for the best. Yeah, because Matt Meyer's doing, which I think we did mention just before. Yeah. Matt Meyer's doing well in Vancouver, despite the fact he's not been given the support she needs. Well said. But she's actually doing quite well in Ottawa, and reminding us why she is the reigning Ilara Kloss playoff MVP, despite the fact she was on the losing team. Yeah. Oh yeah, she's been really impressive so far. There's more team blemishes, but you're gonna have that with every netmark. Yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Some performances, but I wasn't too. That was doing something like the run where they went on. But I've been really impressed so far with what I've seen. I think, yeah, she's brilliant. Yeah. And I think she's going to be really excited to watch when we get to Milan. Her and Franco, they're going to be a great talent to see. Well, they showed good promise in the Ryby series, so I'm really pleased with that so far. Yeah, so I think Ottawa just needs to tighten a few things up, because 40 goals is impressive. And you've only given up 41. That, I think, is the second highest after Tio. I'm just going to double check that. Yes, that is the joint second highest. And New York is also... Oh, who are going to come on to next. They've also given up 41 goals. So that's the second highest after Tio's 45. But your goal differential there, that's actually not too bad. Only being like a -1. That's really impressive. It shows there's if we look at their wins combined so far, they've got 9 combined wins. Only 4 of those in regulation. But they are actually, when you think about it, they are finding ways to get points, which is what Boston was able to do this time last year. In January 2025, Boston found ways to get points and put themselves back in the conversation for playoffs. Ottawa, since Chicago, have found ways to get points, to get the wins, which are going to really help them when we get to that final stretch, this kind of final, the last 2 weeks of April. That's going to be really critical. So, right now you can say, yes, the Charge are outside of the playoff line, but it's only by 2 points. And with a 3-point system like the PHL, all you need is one regulation win, and you are back in that picture. You are back in that picture. And I think it would be really interesting if it was between Boston, if Boston had the choice between Ottawa and New York, because would they really want to then go for Ottawa? Given how they've not done work against Ottawa. I mean, that's the beauty of this league being every night being a rivalry night. You have to basically face against. That's why I said to you two last year. If we have to play Montreal in the playoffs, we play Montreal. But you two are having none of it, because there's no easy team in this league. So if Boston does have to choose, then what can we say? It's a tough choice, because there's no easy choice. You might. Okay, so. What? So that would mean Montreal would have to miss out. No, I think it would be more interesting if Boston had to choose between Montreal and Ottawa. Oh, they would. And this is making it such that we would be in second. Right. Wonder where we're going with this scenario. Yeah. So I kind of feel like Ottawa. Okay, maybe if you had doubts about them going in the first kind of 5-6 weeks of the season, like this one did, maybe do what Pluto's doing, and that is actually reevaluate them, because actually Ottawa are basically right. I'm about to quote Mr. Conductor. Oh no, where's your shotgun? He did not shoot Thomas the Tank Engine! Look, that was a childhood VHS movie of mine! Don't ruin it! Not my fault he killed someone. Allegedly. Right, but I'm about to quote Mr. Conductor. This is actually very relevant. Oh, okay, so for Ottawa right now, the words of Mr. Conductor, they're down, but they're not out. They're not out. And all it takes is like one regulation win, and they're right back in the picture. They are right back in the picture. So Ottawa never makes it easy when it gets to the second half of the season, particularly when it gets close to playoff time. They never make it easy for the other teams who kind of felt they spent the majority of the season kind of bolstering, securing their position. And here comes Ottawa. Literally, why does he can maybe take someone out of the picture who probably should have gone in? Well, they did last year. They did last year. About a lot of Boston fans are thinking, oh, it should have been us. Should have been us, but yeah. So I think the Charge have got a very interesting second half of the season coming up because they are technically still in the frame, and technically could still sneak in. The question is, who out of Montreal and New York is going to have to miss out for Ottawa to get in? I'd say it's the team we're going to cover next. Oh yeah, I would say it's the team that we're going to cover next, unless Montreal depth improves. You think Montreal? I just don't think Montreal. We'll talk more about it when we get to Montreal. I don't think they've been playing as good enough as they could be for a team that didn't suffer as big of a dent as everyone else did. Great. Do you want to very quickly before we move on talk about the trade? Because we did come up with Vancouver. Yeah, this will be like a 5 minute before we move on to the next team. So they get Mikhail Kappa and they get Brooke McQuigg. Two players they were very familiar with the World Cup finals last year. Is that going to bolster their chances of getting back in or not? I'll start it. I think Ottawa have been given a huge boost going into the second half of this season. Because Mikhail Kappa, she knows how to win championships. She's on a hot streak. Yep. She's pretty much won in every single league she's been in. So, yeah. Brooke McQuigg had a great season last year. It was tough to see her go. Ottawa's got really two good players. Also, did Mikhail Kappa get closer scoring? We all thought she got her first goal in that game against Montreal, but of course it wasn't. But she get the assist, yeah. So, I'm able to see how those players do in the second half. Okay. I do believe Ottawa has won that trade. Yeah. Because Ottawa are getting two great players in Mikhail Kappa and Brooke McQuigg. You know. It's the third ever Greco. Yeah. Right, well, they all know what it takes to win championships. Okay. That is really going to boost Ottawa. Because I do think Ottawa could be a team that could easily get back to the World Cup finals. I do believe that could still happen. Particularly with Carver by the side. I still believe that. So, they've now really bolstered their chances. And what's been so funny is after that trade happened, straight away, people on social media started speaking, oh, is Ottawa now going to win the World Cup? And I was like, who said that first? Yeah. Who said that first? Which podcast said that first? This one. This one you're listening and watching to right now. This one. We said it first. Yeah. We were the ones who were saying it in the off-season that Ottawa could be that first team in the PHL to go to the World Cup finals but lose 1 year, but go back the following year and win it all. We said it first, alright? Stop trying to take credit for our comments. We said it first. Yeah, I think those players will be interested to watch the second half, because obviously, as you said, George, with Vancouver, we talked about Vancouver side of it. Because it happened so late in the first half, we've not had an opportunity to see how it's been in the first half of the season. So the second half, we'll see it more come to fruition, come to life. Okay. So that just leaves hopes, predictions for the second half. Should I go first again? So we don't. So does it feel weird, or should I go first this time? You go first this time, then, and then you can go last. Yeah. It looks like we've mixed it up a little bit. We don't be repetitive with me being the last. Okay. Right. So my hopes for Ottawa is to get some more regulation wins. They're currently of their 9 combined, only 4 are in regulation. The next team above them's got 7 in regulation. So I think, as we all know, regulation wins are that first tiebreaker. You need to get some more regulation wins under your belt. Like that. You need to get them all under your belt, so that you then don't basically just do what I just did, and that is knock out while you're pretending. So you don't get knocked out by your opponents, because we saw last year in Boston, the fact they had fewer regulation wins than us at Ottawa, but they were the ones that got knocked out. Bowling, we'll call it. I've not done bowling in years. Yeah. So if Ottawa wants to avoid being knocked out, they need to get some more regulation wins under their belt. Okay. So you're going last. Yeah. So that's me. Yeah, it's me. Right. Okay. Okay. Right. I think I'd like to see special teams. That's kind of my hope, because we know how Ottawa's penalty kill last year was nasty with the jailbreaks, yeah, because they got someone against us. I just try to think. I just don't know if I've seen enough from our special teams to be able to say, wow, they're really great. Well, especially of course in that game against Montreal, Montreal they just really had. They gave up a very late power pick-up. Exactly. Which is a bad thing to do. Yeah. So yeah. So I kind of think maybe special teams. I haven't seen enough to be able to go, yeah, that's impressive. So that's kind of my hopes, is that the special teams, mainly the penalty kill, just gets improved a little bit more. That's what I say. So Plur, you got the last call. What would be your hopeful prediction you got for Ottawa? Oh, it's tricky. I think actually I'll go back to kryptonite, because I think it's been impressive so far. But what's to say is the second habit it then change? They go back to old habits. Yeah, because obviously as the old saying goes, old habits die hard. So they've done very well so far. But yeah, so I think my hopes is for you continue to find the success in overtime and shootout, because you're gonna see teams the second half really go for broke, and you might end up being in more OT shootouts than you would like to be. So I want to see that continue. That's going to be my hope going into the next half of the season. Okay.